and join the effort.
At KSMO Radio, we welcome you to Halloween. It's a beautiful Halloween day. We got some rain. I guess you can call it a beautiful day. We finally did get some rain. And we have Democratic candidate Jen Tracy with us today. And good to have you for Miss State Rep. I know you've been very, very busy, and now crunch time is here. But actually, with the absentee voting, and I wanted to pass on, Denton County set a new record for absentee voting on Tuesday, 225, another 191 yesterday. Over 1,600 votes have already been cast absentee. The no excuse absentee voting has really taken any excuse anybody has away from not voting, hasn't it?
I absolutely agree. As I just keep telling people and reminding them, there are folks who have said, "Oh, I haven't done it yet," or "I'm going to wait until November 5th." Well, just remember, there is no November 6th. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you have this opportunity to get to your county clerk's office here. You know, in our district, you have to go to either one of the county clerk's offices, but they make it convenient. They make it quick and easy and painless, you know, and so it is open all the way up until the day before the election, November 4th. So today's Thursday and Friday, they're open until 4:30, and then Saturday, they're actually open from 8 a.m. until noon.
To noon, yeah.
And then Monday, they're open until 5. So 8 a.m. until 5 on that Monday. But yeah, so absolutely no reason to get out and vote.
Okay, and Angie talked about her this morning. She is reminding everybody, no electioneering, which means buttons, hats, T-shirts, any literature that you might have.
You bet.
You cannot bring that in. That's not just for candidates. That's for the issues as well.
That's correct.
I think people forget about that.
They do. That's right. You don't necessarily pay attention to what you have on, or I have buttons and stuff on my bags. And
you have a skeleton on today. You're pretty safe.
Today I have a skeleton on today. Yeah, it's Halloween. Come on. So, but yeah, you have to think about that, and just you want to make sure that you're conscious, because you don't want to try to influence anybody else's vote, right? Like, they're going in, and this is supposed to be something that's private to you that you can do, and so you just want to make sure to be respectful of others whenever you go in and vote, and remove all of that, or flip your shirt inside out if you can, or whatever you need to do. But yes, absolutely, and like you said, that does that means all the amendments as well. Yep.
Right, absolutely. And remember, if you do an absentee vote, as Jen already said, you do go to the county clerk's office. But come Tuesday, you have to go to your polling place.
Correct.
And make sure you go to the proper polling place. And if you're not sure what that proper polling place is, make sure you contact the clerk's office now. Don't wait till Tuesday, because Tuesday will be crazy.
It'll be a crazy day. So yes, you definitely want to figure that out now. Reach out to your local county clerk's office, or if you're tech savvy, go to the Missouri Secretary of State's website, sos.mo.gov. You can find it there. But yes, make sure that you go to your polling location on Tuesday. You cannot early vote at your polling location. It has to be at the county clerk's office.
Very good. So get out and vote. Voting is very important. Well, first off, now that we have just a few moments, I want to get that out because I know that's very important to you to remind people to vote.
Yep.
But also, you have been very busy, and this is now coming down to crunch time. Have you come across some new ideas, or have you spoken to people lately that have maybe talked to you about something that you hadn't heard about before? Or something new?
Not really. For the most part, it's the same issues that everybody is experiencing. And so, yeah, I'm 5 days out, or if you want to really be technical, it's probably 4 days and some hours. But this is my last hurrah, right? I just want to be able to talk to people. If you haven't had an opportunity to chat with me, you can still reach out to me. You can call me. I've had several people who I've knocked doors. They have reached out to me, found my phone number, because I either give it to them at the door, or they can find it on my website. And they ask questions because they're getting ready to go vote, right? And they would just say, well, you know what, I need some clarification as to where you stand on this certain issue, or what do you think about this? And we kind of talk through it. And I actually had a gentleman who I door knocked, and we sat down and we had a great conversation, on the porch, and he's always voted a Republican ticket. And so we chatted, but he texted me the other day and said, I wanted to let you know, I went and I voted. You were the only Democrat I voted for. And I said, I absolutely appreciate you. And I do believe it's because I took the time to chat with him. He had some further questions and reached out to me, and we addressed those. And did we agree on everything? No.
Well, we're not going to.
Exactly. Like I've said, you don't even do that with your spouse. So how can you expect to do that with your
spouse, kids,
exactly, with your representatives? So
parents, anybody else.
Yeah. So you just got to try to find the person that you align the most with, and that you trust. I think that's huge too.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. People need clarification on issues. But the one thing they shouldn't be listening to is gossip or Facebook's conversation. You know, if you're not sure, you hear all this stuff, you go to a coffee shop and you hear people talk, and then they come up to you, well, how do you feel about this issue? Well, you've just heard them talk, and you know that they want you to say what they're saying.
Right.
And, you know, that's not really the way you need to go vote. But if you don't really know, and there are a lot of things that you may not be aware of.
Yes.
You've come around. You have been very open to answer those questions to the best of your ability. You may not have all the answers, but I guarantee you, as I have seen you, you have persevered in finding answers for somebody if you don't know.
Right, absolutely, and I think that that's important. It's very important for somebody who is going to be your legislator, right? I mean, they're not necessarily going to have all of those answers, but at least they are going to take the time to make you a priority, you know, because you're a constituent of theirs, and say, you know what, I don't know that, but I will find out, and I will get back with you by X. You know, give them you know, set some realistic expectations and just say, this is when I'm going to get back to you, and I think that that's important and that's appreciated. I know I appreciate that, right? Whenever anybody calls anybody and has a question, if they don't have it, I do appreciate them saying, you know what, I don't have it, but I'll get back to you. And then, my gosh, getting back to me whenever they say they're going to get back to me. This is not something new. This isn't a huge thing. It's just respect for one another and you know, following through with what you say you're going to do. So.
And this is what you would also do in office. And this is what people have not seen a lot of all the time when they have a representative going in. I think Mr. Copeland has done a good job.
Yeah.
But you know, some people in previous administrations, they've emailed their representatives or called the representative, never got a call back, never hear back, or they have a question about an issue and they never hear back. You know, it's not really fair to that voter. And how do you think the voter feels about you when you come around for re-election and say, I'm all for the people?
Since when? That's right. And remember, you know, you have this legislator, you know, who's working for you and representing you. They also have an assistant. So, yes.
More than one.
That's right. Are they busy? Absolutely.
Sure.
They're absolutely busy till all hours of the night in hearings and different things like that. But this is their job, right? Like, they signed up for this. They know what they're getting themselves into. And if they don't feel like they can do that and get back with people and make their constituents a priority, then maybe they shouldn't do this. This should not just be something simply that they thought that they'd like to have on their resume one day. You know what? I always thought I'd like to run for office, and so I'm just going to do that. Well, what's the why behind that? And I encourage you to think about, you know, these different people who are running for offices, these different seats, you know, as local as it can be and all the way up state and federal, whatever it is. Just think to yourself and watch them and listen to them and think of what's their why, you know, and does that resonate with you, or, you know, and you know what you believe in. So
I wanted to ask you a question, because you've been doing this now for about 9 months. When you've
14.
actually I mean actually going and talking with people in a different county.
Yes,
especially in a different county.
Yeah.
What have you learned about Dent County you did not know about before?
Well, I remember one time I was here and somebody indicated that, you know, comparing Dent County and Crawford County was like comparing, you know, not comparing Missouri to Arkansas. It was more like comparing Missouri to the state of Washington or something like that. And, you know, I can see where they're coming from, but I disagree a little bit, because even though they're both unique and have unique features about each of those counties, I think the people want the same things, and they want to feel safe. They want to be able to afford to live. They want to be able to afford their insurance and not have to deal with, you know, dramatic issues and constant battles with insurance companies. And, you know, they want to be able to have a nice job and, you know, their kids to be able to stay here and not move away, you know, whenever they graduate high school or college and never come back, right? They want to be able to see their kids and their grandkids. And so I think they all want the same things. And based on conversations that I've had with people at the doors and at the different events that I've put on, that's exactly what it is. They all want the same things.
And you have learned, too, in your conversations about the broadband issue, probably a little bit more than you even expected when you came into this, because there are areas in both Crawford and Dent County that have none.
That's not even an option.
And it's not even really scheduled to be done.
That's
yet.
right. And so, and not only do you not have broadband, a lot of those areas you don't have cell phone service either. And so that's scary for a lot of individuals. I mean, you think about medical emergencies and then all of the other things, and that's not okay. If we want to be able to compete, we need to be able to have broadband here, because not only is it, as I've mentioned time and time again, not only is it good for people for, telehealth phone calls, or, going to school online for college, or if they're out of school, public school here, they can do a lot of that online too. But I mean, a lot of businesses, whenever they're looking for places to set up shop and start a new, business in an area, they're looking for that infrastructure, and they want to know, okay, water and sewer, check, telecom, check. Do I have decent broadband? Check, and these are things that they absolutely have to function. It's not the tax breaks that bring them here. Right. It is absolutely having that infrastructure in place for them. So,
and then when you hear Brightspeed and them are going to eliminate all the landlines over time, they're not going to install new ones.
Nope.
So if you're in that area that you have no cell service, what kind of communication do you have?
That's right. And so these are things that we absolutely need to be holding these companies accountable for, because we can't be forgotten about. And I do believe that more people would move to these rural areas to enjoy everything that it has to offer, because we all know how great it is. And there are so many people who would love to move here, but they work from home and they need to be able to have, a strong internet connection so that they can do that. And so I think that's important. Yeah, that's one of the main issues.
Have you calculated how many miles you've driven over this?
6,608.
You have?
As of yesterday.
You have calculated it out.
Yes.
Well, add about another 35 or 40 more.
Right, yes. So,
yeah, they come down here. But when you start talking about running for an office, there's a lot of personal investment, isn't there?
You bet. So not only your time. So for me, I chose to put my kind of career on hold so that I could focus full time on this, because I thought it's very important and needed, right? And this spoke to me. And so that was a personal choice that I made. But yes, I mean, you can pull my MEC filings. I have not claimed a single mile. I have paid it all out of pocket. So, and that's because I felt like it was more important for me to use those funds that people were donating to my campaign for all of those other things, for mailers, for me to be able to make, phone calls and get out and have these events and all of those things that cost money. I felt it was more important to have that literature and to do radio ads and interviews and things like that, so people can hear me and have an opportunity to hear me, see me, talk to me, those types of things. So,
well, before you came on, you did send out a mailer that has a little bit of sense of humor, and as we talked about before we got on the air, you don't have to be all serious and nasty in politics.
No.
You can laugh. You can enjoy Halloween. You can enjoy the holidays. And people need to be able to do that, but they need to be able to do that with their representatives and not have any fear.
Correct. I am a human being. I'm just like everybody else, right? I didn't come from a privileged background. I struggled. I was dirt poor. It was a very traumatic childhood that I had, and I've built myself to who I am today. But yeah, I'm a real person. And so, yeah, my latest mailer that I sent out, I was able, thankfully to all my awesome donors, I was able to do one mailer a week for 4 weeks. That cost a lot of money, but it went to 4,000 households. And my last one is something Halloween themed. And so it was really fun to design. And I hope people get a good giggle out of it when it comes to their mailbox.
It has been a pleasure meeting you and your
Thanks.
husband, and he was here and we've in town with you, and people have had a chance to finally find out who Jen Tracy is.
Yes.
And I really wanted to thank you for making that happen, coming in person, not just one time, not just 2 times, but pretty much anytime somebody would ask you to come,
you bet,
you would be here. And I wanted to thank you for that. There's not a lot of representatives that'll do that. They'll always say, well, let me check my schedule and see if I can make it.
Yeah.
I have never heard you turn down anyone.
No, I try to be as available as possible. And guess what? I'm still going to be that way whenever I'm elected and I'm in Jeff City, because that's just who I am. I mean, I am very involved in the community, and the community means a lot to me, and the people of the community mean a lot to me. So I am always going to make myself accessible because I think it's very important, and it's fulfilling for me. So yes, absolutely.
Representative means you represent the people.
That's correct. Every single person, not just pick and choose. It's every single person who lives in the district.
Democrat, Libertarian, Conservationist, Republican, it makes no difference.
That's exactly right. Doesn't matter to me. I'm here to represent everyone.
Got about a minute. You want to give us your final thank you to people who've invited you down and made you welcome, hopefully, and you've always come across that?
Yes. I absolutely appreciate everybody in the Denton County area, right? I know that I am from Crawford County, but I really, truly enjoy coming down here and meeting new people and having those conversations. And I'm appreciative to everybody here who's kind of taken me under their wing and, either donated to my campaign or volunteered or, reached out to different people and made connections for me. It truly means a lot. And even the people down here in Denton County who have texted me and said, "Hey, I voted for you. Thank you." Yeah.
And even those people that just gave you the time to talk with them.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, they may have learned something.
That's exactly right. Yep. And I've learned something from them. So it was a great opportunity.
Jen Tracy, Democratic candidate for the state representative office, 120.
That's correct.
And we wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And hope that your dreams and wishes all come true for you.
Thank you very much.
You may think twice about that. I know. I'm kidding.
That'll be good.
I'm kidding. We're just having a little bit of fun here.
Yeah.
But it is a tough job.
Yes,
And
it is.
but I think you're well prepared for it. And I just wanted to thank you again for coming in here. This is a paid political interview, and we do want to thank Jen for doing this. I think you did 5 of them this year.
Think so, yeah.
I think it was, and I think they're very good to let people know who you are, what you stand for, what you represent. And we wish you again the very best come election day.
Thanks, Dan.
That's Jen Tracy here on KSMO 1340 AM 95.7, and this is streamed. If you didn't catch it all, you can go back to our YouTube, our Facebook page, or our Twitch account if you want to, and go check it out at ksmoradio.com, KSMO Stream Facebook, KSMO YouTube. Any of those 3 will get you this interview and time. Jen, again, we appreciate you very, very much. At the